Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm super excited to be here with you. We're going to start shortly. I want to ask 3 questions because I wanted to add more value for who they are showing up live, and also like there's certain specific questions that I can, information that I can actually provide. So if you can go back to the first question. So there's 3 questions. If you can answer it in the chat, again, I can help you even more. So we can start with the first question. How long have you been in practice? So if you can put in the chat, so I can be able to provide more information for you. And the next question, are you building a new office or planning an expansion within the next 6 to 12 months? And I will explain why I'm asking those questions later. There's a poll question is popping up, so you can answer it there as well. And what is the biggest design solution you believe will bring you the highest result? Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for providing this information. And I will share very specific information for you who are just getting started, who you have been in practice for 7 years. I appreciate it for the information. And for you that you just moved into the larger space from 7 to 3,600. That's awesome. That's really cool. So let's get started. We're going to play a quick video until everyone else gets to Zoom as well, and then I'll dive deep. Do you see the difference between these two spaces? That meant millions of dollars in increased potential revenue. Our clients started working with an architectural firm, but they didn't feel that they're achieving the design that they wanted it. And that was creating a hotel lounge environment and feeling. So we got to work with them and understanding their flow, their service list, what they want to achieve, and connecting their space to their branding, which they wanted it to create that luxury and hotel environment in their med spa. To create that lounge energy, we made intentional and strategic decisions to bring more efficiency to help our clients to have a higher level of growth in their space. We selected furniture and accessories that they were less conventional and more inviting. We even designed a selfie wall for a fun and more amazing experience, so patients, they can tell their friends. From a customizing signage to subtle decal throughout the space, and designing custom building shelves to promote subtle cross-selling of our clients' products within the private lounges. We created a space that helped elevate the patient experience and increase profitability. This world-class design helps increase repeat customers and average revenue per patient. We believe patients, in part, trust the care they're receiving based on macro perceptions of the environment. We create intentional spaces that take med spas and private practices to the next level. At Simour Design, we believe great design requires good intentions, and well-designed spaces have the power to transform the world. Awesome. Thank you. So today, I'm going to talk about elevate patient experience through interior design. This is a very important elements in your practice success, because how your patients will perceive you, it make it or break it for the success of your practice. My name is Mitra Silva. I'm the founder and CEO of Simour Design. My team and I, we specialize in medical interior design. That means we don't do residential, we don't do commercial. We solely, passionately focus only on medical interior design. I've been doing this for over 18 years plus, and I was a pre-med student myself before I went to design school. I decided to shift because I saw my strength on design and passion was stronger. So I got my bachelor, worked on big projects, and as years passed by, I realized something is missing in me, and I realized I still have so much passion for medical, and that's where the whole story started. Now we have clients all over US, from Beverly Hills to Chicago to New York, and we have amazing clients in middle of nowhere, in Utah, in Tennessee, in Colorado, in Texas, and we serve different specialty, but our top specialty is plastic surgery, med spa, and aesthetic field. I'm excited to share with you that this is the place that everything is very, very intentional. Every slide, every picture, first of all the pictures you see on this webinar is our own projects. So I will navigate through each one of them. But this is for you if you feel overwhelmed, you outgrown of your space, you really need to increase productivity, and also you want to increase profitability in your practice. And before I get started, I want to invite you and also challenge you, because I care about you, to remove all of your distraction. I'm about to dive deep and take you down this journey that it created a very tremendous and exponential growth for our clients. We do case studies, we back up all of our design and the process based on data. So I know this is going to be, it's going to change you for better once you leave this webinar. So my invitation is to you, removing all the distraction. And if you, my team is here, if you have questions, if you have any comments, you can put it on the chat. So I want to, this is all about you. So I'm going to have some pop quiz at the end. Like I want to bring the whole picture together for you. So I'm going to start with this first pop question, and you will see how everything is connected internally. And this is for you to elevate your mindset and really testing yourself how much you know about your practice. So let's get started with the first question. What is the #1 patients experience complaint? So A, lack of entertainment, B, long wait times, or C, treatment takes too long. So just type in your answer in the chat. We'll give it a couple minutes. Because it's important for you to just kind of check with yourself, like how much, where are you standing in your practice? So the answer is B. Thank you for whoever answered. The #1 complaint is long wait times in the waiting or exam room, which really truly leads to a frustration and inconvenience for the patients. So in the next 45 minutes, you'll learn how to solve the top 3 patients' complaints through interior design. The #1 complaint is a long wait times. In any kind of review platforms you look, that's a #1 complaint. Number two complaint is about discomfort and trust. And that's really connected to patient retention, the referral. Number 3 is lack of connection, that human connection. And as a bonus, I will talk about true cost of construction, because at the end, all of this has to connect to your return of investment and how your practice is going to have the highest level of profitability. And that's why it's so important. The core of it is the patient experience and how we can change it. So, number one top patients complaint is the long wait time. So let's talk about it. This is a before picture of one of our projects in Colorado. Our clients are amazing. They're extremely high performance, but when they came to us, they're like, listen, who we are is now matching to our space. Therefore, there is a huge gap into our profitability and as how we have the patient experience. So the traditional waiting room, it has this linear seating that is facing the receptionist. It's so awkward. There's no personal space, and it has such an old and outdated lighting. Human behaviors gets controlled by lighting. It's like plant that you're putting it next to the window. Look at the behaviors as days pass by. It's very important, and that it results into a negative check-in experience. And it's optimized retail space. If you look at the retail space on the wall, it's so cluttered. No one can touch it because it's like if you touch something, something else is gonna fall, right? And the items in it is like unrelated to the services that they provide. This is the aesthetic practice. And they're selling like scarf and so on and so forth. And there's no refreshment as like beverage that the patients, they can have a higher level of experience while they're in that space. So this is the after picture. It's offering and changing the patient experience from waiting room to the lounge area. I want to invite you from this moment, you tell your team, hey team, you're going to tell the patients, I'm going to come and get you from the lounge area. Terminology is your first step to change your game, because you change your mindset, you change the way you're practicing, and that's your first step. So at Simour, with our clients, with our design, we never call this space waiting room, we call it lounge area. So shifting that mindset, changing the seating from being like an airport all next to each other to that spacious seating that it creates that flow. No one is facing the reception area. There's personal space. The lighting is very intentional. We usually do like a 1 to 2 p.m. lighting color, which is like, it's not too white, it's not too yellow. And it has that positive check-in experience, which is the first impression to a practice. Another solution that we do at Simour is providing that engagement. For example, this is another project of ours. It's everything is very intentional. The display, the retail part is very organized, and there's a tester in every part of every product. So the patients, they can be engaged, they can, is welcoming. It's really elegantly allow them to go get closer to it, or they can walk to the other side of the room and they serve themselves with any kind of refreshment. The other solution that we have at Simour is creating a multi-usage private VIP lounge. So as you can see, this is another project of ours. It has all the elements of the lounge area, but what we did, we made the lounge area when we took it to the next level. How? By combining and multi-usaging the space. We added an IV therapy to this room. Okay, so while patients are waiting in that time to get another treatment, or it's between the treatment, we can offer them an IV therapy. And numbing room. So I want to tell you, most of aesthetic practices, they do numbing inside the treatment rooms. Every minute and every inch of your treatment rooms that's your most expensive real estate that you have to generate income like in a minute by minute. So instead of doing the numbing inside the treatment room, we help our clients to create a space that the patients can get that process of numbing in the VIP experience, and then they move to the treatment room. Another one is minimizing the wait times by using the hallways as nurse stations. That's like really increasing your turnaround time between patients and how they navigating your team productivity. And you can really reduce the wait time between the treatments. And that's another way we maximize every inch of our clients' square footage. Okay, let's get ready for the next pop question. And that is the question is, how can you lose your patient's trust because of your interiors? A, space is unsanitary. B, the patients don't know where to go. They're lost because they don't know how to navigate through the space. C, space doesn't look professional. So put your answer in the chat. These are important. Like, it gives you that, like, going outside of like your norm to look at your practice and your space in a different level. So I'll wait a couple seconds for you guys to put your answer in there. So someone can say A, B, A. Okay, what else? Give me a couple more and then I'll move on. Okay, awesome. So let's get to the answer. All of them. You lose patients because if your space is unsanitary, if the patients don't know how to navigate through the space without your team, which I will talk about it, and your space doesn't look professional. These are all data that has been like case studies after case studies. So let's talk about the second top patient's complaint, which is discomfort and trust. This is another project of ours, and our clients are like top-notch doctor and phenomenal team, but there was not going to they didn't have the full potential of how the practice was operating. So interior space shows your level of professionalism. Remember that. That's extremely, extremely important. And professional interior affects your high standard of service, meaning the quality of the customer service, the quality of the material in your space, the furniture, the way that the patients will sit and they feel and they navigate through the space. Believe me, maybe the patients, they cannot pinpoint of what is happening in your space, but they subconsciously, they receive all of those messages. And then on professional interior spaces, question your, like, who you are, because that reliability in your attention to the details, they question it in the background. For example, if you look at this picture, there's an exposed trash can, and then there's like all these wirings on the wall, and this is like a DIY decoration in the space. This is the after. It's providing that like space that it brings that true version of you, that vision. That's why you got into this practice from the beginning, to celebrate, to serve, to make a lot of money, to serve your patient and celebrate with them, right? So your space must feel like you. Warm, welcoming interior. It brings that really calming nature, brings that quality and reliability in every aspect, especially through the materials. And also your space must provide that level of comfort so the patients, they want to come back. It creates the trust of like, that's how we help our clients to increase their patient retention, because the patients, when they walk in, they feel so warm and welcome. You have their trust, believe me. We've done this long enough, and we've done so many case studies, and the data tells the truth that we know like this is a high level of elements as far as the patient experience, and the physical surrounding really influence the patient's mood and behavior, even your team. Another solution that we usually provide for our projects and our clients, provide a workspace that really have that premium service feel and function.
really like from the cabinetry, how the hardware has been designed so it can really increase your team productivity even, and how accessible the supplies are, how fast they can get around when they're doing the treatments. These are all becomes second nature after like being in this space for several weeks for the team. And if everything is intentional, it becomes a support, an automated system around you and your team. When we do our design, we always use hygiene and sanitation materials. Like we always use bleach and cleanable materials, from bleachable wallpaper to countertop to the cabinetry to the flooring, antimicrobial counter, and we always hide trash cans and trash chutes, and always hide sharp containers. We have a design system that it goes inside the cabinetry, and it creates, when your space is decluttered, guess what happened? You increase the patient's trust, because they feel at ease. They feel that they're in the place, that it's a blank canvas or it's a beautiful canvas that embraces the patient's experience. We have a complimentary design consultation. We have only 3, I believe, spots for this webinar. My team is putting the link in the chat. I will tell you in a moment, later on in the webinar. Top patients complained, number 3, lack of connection. And when I say connection, I'm talking about that human connection. So the biggest challenge to an elevated patient experience is when your patients are in this space, they feel connected. And there are some really big elements that it breaks that connections is inadequate communication between the spaces. Patients confused where the process is. They enter, they sit, there's so much clutter around them. They're unaware, like, what is the next step? Are they going to be called, and how are they going to go? Like, it's like everything has such a disconnection between them. And when they're sitting in the space that is unintentional, they feel that there is lack of that empathy and compassion. And guess what happened? Those practices, because we do case studies before and after in the practice of our clients, when the patients are sitting in that area or they're interacting in the area, they feel like there's no transparency in the pricing. So they always question our clients when they had it, even they were super authentic, they're like super like raving about their services, but the space creates that feeling in the patients that they question the pricing. Once that changes happen, which let's go to the next slide. Here's what happened. This is the same picture, the same practice from before and after. Using the correct interior design communications makes your practice very effortless. When everything is planned based on how your team is going to approach the patients and the workflow, and when the patients walk in, it creates that optimize and maximize your profitability and creates this like seamless patient's experience. I mentioned that, how like your patients create the distrust when the patients, they don't know how to find their way. We use very intentional and elegant way of signage throughout the space. It creates a higher level of trust when patients are in the space, and they feel extremely trusted. So when it comes to the pricing, when they come to the time that they have to check out, it's so effortless to just want to be part of your practice, right? So it's not like questioning everything or like going and never come back. So that patient retention and also becoming your raving fan becomes a huge element when your space is very intentional. Another solution that we use in our design is private consult or checkout. When there's a private and very intentional way of positioning the private checkout, it creates the environment that the patients feel that they have so much safety and empathy and compassion around them. It brings a higher level of comfort, so they can discuss the financial matters, however that is. And it gives the opportunity to your team to discuss aftercare. A lot of our clients, they never pay attention to what's going to happen when the patients leave the practice. The aftercare is another element to bring more revenue to your practice. And this is when there is a safe place, when it's a place that is so intentional, that we usually put a retail shelf, retail area in the private checkout. Your team has an opportunity to discuss what is your daily routine, what's going to happen when you leave here. And I'll challenge you here, is your opportunity and is your responsibility to give that aftercare and upsell your clients authentically when they leave your practice. So that's like a full circle that is going to bring more revenue for your practice, that is helps your patients that they want to come back. And also they really seeing the higher level of results. So it becomes a much extended services that you can provide them. I want to give you some case studies because it's important for you to see the details of it. We do, the reason I believe that it's important for you to see it, because if you're making the time to educate yourself, I want to show you, I want to have a real talk with you. We do a lot of corrections, fortunately or unfortunately. We get a lot of floor plans from other architecture firms. This is an example of it. Our clients came to us, brought this floor plan that it had all these challenges. Unwelcoming entrance. So if you see the far left one, the door swings open, there's a reception. Look what happened there. It's a tight hallway, is non-ADA. The room is a waiting room, right? It's not a lounger, it's a waiting room. It has all this linear sitting. There's no entertainment or engagement. There's no beverage station. Getting to the lounge area, it's not a right flow. And the flow has to be so seamless for the IV room to welcome the patients to want to do that. Too many offices. Again, every inch of your square footage matters for your profitability. So here it only has 3 treatment rooms, and there are too many offices. There's a tight and non-central laboratory. So the laboratory is like more towards the end. So every distance, it actually counts as, we calculate every minute matters when your team is in the space. So you can really help your team to increase their efficiency. And there's a non-compliant, non-ADA restroom in this space. So let's go to the next one. This is how we brought solutions. You can see, first of all, we changed the swing of the door. Look what happened. When the patients walk in, there's an opening. We remove all of that open hallway. We made it ADA. We created a premium lounge area right behind the reception, because this is a very linear square footage space. We had to be so intentional where the lighting comes, how like we create this plush lounge seating. The retail shelf is in that area, and we created a beverage area. And we have a very intentional, right next to the lounge area, we create this IV therapy, right? To really create that higher level. We maximize the space. Instead of 3 treatment rooms, we created 4 treatment rooms, more revenue, right? And we created one office, and we added one room that it can be a consultation room, it can be an office. So it has that multi-usage area. And we centralized the lab area. And I want to, and then we create that ADA restroom area for them. Now I want to show you, this is the process that we're going to play a video that show you the entire process from the beginning to the end, from this specific floor plan that I just showed you. So I wanted to show you like how from the beginning to the end, when you're working with experts, when there's a proven process, there should be a step by step. It's like notes on a music. When something is off, when a lot of, and I'll walk you through at the end of it, how our design process actually works in a more formal way. But that creates the highest level of result, the patient experience, and at the end, it affects your profitability and your revenue. So I want to share with you this video. So I want to give you a quick explanation. This is another client of ours, not that specific project. So I just want to draw a picture for you so you can really understand better the mistakes that usually the medical practitioner or practices they do. This specific client of ours came to us and they worked with two design firms, two architecture firms, and they went through 6 months of spending so much money, time. And this client of ours, he had 3 practices running simultaneously, and he wanted to open a med spa as his 4th practice with a different specialty with a partner. He knew this must be a success for him. So when they came to us, there were so many mistakes on this project. We had to turn everything around for them. I'll let you listen to that, and I'll give you a couple quick recap at the end. Whatever resonates with you, that's exactly where your practice has to be, pay attention to. But I'll give you a quick recap at the end too. So let's play that video.
Our original plan and goal was with an architectural firm that maybe didn't have a lot of specialty in this area. We knew right away that they weren't capturing our vision. We really didn't know where the project was headed. We didn't know, we didn't have a good vision for where it was going to turn out, and it felt disorganized. It was pretty disconcerting, actually. We were talking to some consultants, and they brought up Simour Design. Hey, why don't you give these guys a call and see what you think? And we're really glad we did, because what we had inside from an inspiration standpoint came alive for us. Our time is pulled in so many ways. The last thing that I really had time for, or my partner had time for, was to micromanage a project like this. The ability to take our vision and to mix it with your expertise, I think is what we really appreciated. And then the timely execution of the details was just critical. You guys made sure that every little detail was done. And that is what takes, I think, a project from mediocrity to an exceptional project. And that's what this has turned out to be for us, is, you know, an exceptional project. And we hear it even today. A patient walks in and was just amazed by the feeling. So it's more than what's just presented on a camera. It's how do you feel, how does it flow when you come into a space? And we love working in this space. It's a refreshing space, you know, it's a healing and a refreshing feeling to it. And that's what we were looking for. And that's where Simour Design really took it over and did a great job for us.
I'm very grateful we were able to help them. But 2 things he said that I want to bring it to your attention. He said, it's about how it feels and how it flows. He's been in this game long enough, having the 4th practice. He knows how it feels. That means patient experience. Your patients don't come back to you because you have nice furniture and artwork. They come back to you because your space, who you are, and how you represent yourself make them a very specific way. So how it feels, it means patient retention, higher level of referral, and how it flows, as he mentioned, is about your team productivity, because the efficiency of your space and how the space planning happens, it really affects your profitability, your bottom line, your return of investment into your space. So I want to pull the curtain a little bit more for you. to show this process, how we do the design very quickly, but I want to quickly review what we talked so far. So number one complaint, long wait time. Offer comfortable, enjoyable lounge for your patients, provide entertainment, make them engage into your space. Consider multi-usage, private VIP lounge. This is going to help your practice tremendously. Minimize the wait times with hallway nurse stations. That's another element you can bring to your practice. Number two complaint is a discomfort and trust. By providing a healing environment, providing a workspace that represents your premium service, you can change that game for yourself as well. And number three complaints, how you can change it. Usually the complaint is lack of connection. By communicating through your space finding, providing a private consult or checkout, it will really, really help your practice to have your patients to see you in a whole different window and a whole different perspective. I hope you're enjoying the webinar so far. Last pop question. Let's get that, because this is important for you to really even understanding this question. Let me tell you something. The reason I have these pop questions, because I truly believe the quality of our lives, it depends on the quality of the questions that we ask ourselves. When you ask the right questions, your brain gives you the right direction to go. So that's why I want us to have fun, and I want us to really pay attention to the right points. So what are the two largest expenses in your practice? A, your space and payroll. B, your space and supplies. C, payroll and supplies. Okay, I see some answers. Okay, what else? Oh, this is gonna help you so much. I love it. Okay, what else? This is gonna help you answer that. I know sometimes it's hard to put your answers in the chat, but give it a couple more minutes. Okay, are you ready? It's A. Your biggest, largest expenses in your practice is your space and your payroll. You don't have much control over payroll because the employment changes, the rate changes. The only thing you have a full control on is your space. And that's where you can get the highest level of your return of investment, because you have a full control how intentional you design it. Because your payroll, when you're really having the space that is efficient, that it increase your team productivity, it pays itself out. So as a bonus, as I promised, I want to talk about the true cost of construction. Let's talk about that. Right now, this is more or less if you're in a metropolitan area versus you're in a suburbs area, a little bit more or less, but basic renovation right now is $250 per square foot. And your interior build out, meaning like there's no walls, you have to build everything, average is around $300 per square foot. And if you're using like premium like materials and finishes, it can go to $400 plus. So if you're spending that much money to set your space up, every square footage that you know is expensive, once you're having an intentional design, when everything is super ultra focused on the intention of how you can add value to your ROI, to your profitability, to your patients, you make every square footage to work for you. So knowing these numbers and knowing the true cost of construction, you don't know how many people call us, how many clients call us. They're like, I have a 3,000 square foot and I have $70,000 for renovation. 6 months later, they call us because we told them the truth. We gave them this number. And like, we had to pull more money from the bank. We have to get more loans because the contractor says we can do it with 70. But guess what? Like, this is unrealistic. There's so much information and noise in the market. But I'm happy you're exposing yourself to the truth and understanding how to navigate through this process. So true interior design service, this is how we do it at Simour. should be simple. That's how we do it. One process, it has to be simplified, streamlined, and you should have one team, which that's how we do it. Our process is elevated. We design intentionally with formula, with proven process based on profitability and productivity, based on patient experience, which I shared with you some of our techniques. And not just our aesthetic as far as how it looks, but it connects to your branding and your entire business process. And we're designed for soulful, to bring more soul into the process. The true connections between your team, your patient's happiness, and also the practice that you can't wait to go back to your practice, to open the door, to be proud of what you created it. We have a package, that's our main package, full service design, that I'll walk you through it in a moment, that we do our design in three phases. Phase one, we go through the mood board. We always bring your branding, your online presence to your offline presence, which is your space, is a tangible representation of who you are. We do the floor plan, concept design. We take you through this process of budget breakdown, because if you know how much you're spending in your practice or in the design of your practice, you don't have to have a dream of a beautiful design and you're like, how much is this going to cost me? First, let's talk about number. That's how we design. And then we go through the process. We provide a 3D design, video walkthrough. We usually have 2 site visits for this package. We give you installation guide, and we have a professional photo shoot to give to our clients. So I'll let you watch this really quick for a couple minutes. This is the virtual reality that we provide our clients before going to construction. This is everything that we designed with our clients, with you. So we send you a virtual reality goggle, so you walk through your space before you go to construction. So as I mentioned, the clarity of like knowing what's the next step. So as my team putting the link in the chat, we're here to help you. We have a complimentary design consultation. You book it, we pre-qualify you because we want to make sure we can add value to you and we don't waste your time. Before you come to the call, you answer a design questionnaire, so we know all about you. When you come to that call, regardless you work with us or not, we give you a really specific way of like, what's the next step? What's the best thing for you? So if you decided to work with us, we have a proposal already, you sign, and we're on board. If we have time for one last video, we can play that. So let's play this quick video.
Hi, my name is Deb, and I am the practice manager for my husband's plastic surgery practice. We've been wanting to expand our footprint and include a Medi-Spa. So we did hire a set of architects that were local to the area, and when I first got the plans back, I was actually a little angry. They really hadn't listened to my desires, what I was looking to achieve. They didn't listen to what I wanted to provide our patients, which was an area where they felt safe, welcomed, like it was warm, and it was an escape. And so I happened to listen to a webinar from Mitra and Simour Designs, and it really piqued my interest enough that I decided to do her 15-minute free consultation. And once I had that talk with her, I was sold. She actually listened to me. She listened to what I wanted to provide our patients. She understood the limitations of the space that we had acquired, which was not a large space. But after going through the process, which was really fast, we have come up with a plan that I'm so excited about. I can't wait to see it come to fruition, her visualization for this plan. So I cannot recommend her even more highly. She listens to you, she manages expectations, she will give you a design for your space that will be functional yet beautiful. I love her and I love her team, and you will be in very good hands.
Thank you so much. This is like really a pleasure to be with all of you. I know we're done with our time today. If you have questions, you're more than welcome to email us, to contact us, booking a consultation. And again, I appreciate it first for showing up for yourself, and then being here and having this time with me. Thank you so much.